Hello, Tweety. Hello, Buddy Blast. Just waiting for DBD to do their thing. Hey, Marky. Hello, Legend. Hello, LED. All right, let's see what we're going to do here now. Keep coming in. Where can I find the stream? It should be starting in about 9 minutes. Yay, we can complain live. All right, on that note, I just want to, reiterate that these devs aren't like media trained. They're people who went to school to code on computers, so don't hang on their every word or bash them for missteps, because if we see that kind of stuff, then they're just going to shut it down. They're going to shut it down, and we won't get as much transparency as we want. So we gotta just give them a chance, Okay. Na, 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 na. Do 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 do. Still in the starting screen. It should be about 8 minutes away. Na 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 na. Mm-hmm. No, that's not what I was supposed to say. What does it say up here? No, not the Discord presentation. Say this. Do 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 do. Let's go. It's Grizzle Hatchet. Hey. All right. Is that good? I guess that's good. Pop out the chat. I don't need that anymore. Okay, there's my closed captioner. Over here. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. I should have tested this. I don't know what the sizing is on this thing. I should have tested my framing. Is it good? Let me see. I guess it's good. Hey, everybody. How you doing today? Turn the volume up once we get going. Okay, I do have the alerts turned off so as not to disrupt the things being said on the stream. I'm already probably going to be stepping on their toes, talking over them, so I don't want alerts doing it too. So thank you to anybody who uses code Paulie. When buying the Oric cells, those alerts will be suppressed and it won't be on here to disrupt the stream. But I thank you all just the same. Same thing for Twitch subs and that. Hope you're feeling better. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. There's Discard. There's Javier. Community streams are always better here. Thanks, Izza. Jingle bells. Patrice, Parhees, Muto. Ooh. Comrade, Confetti. Pizza Glitter. Never Fate. I'm from the United States, but I live in Canada. I have sound now. Tina. Hey, Omar. Are there going to be technical difficulties? Man, I'm just more nervous for what the announcements are going to be. Again, whatever they say, you know, we're going to be okay, right? And remember that they're human beings on the other side of this screen, so, you know, I don't want to see anybody participating in bullying. And, you know, I know there's some content creators out there who do it, like using pictures of the devs. I think that's kind of low class personally. But one thing is for sure, somebody ain't gonna be happy today. Who that is, I don't know. There aren't any Twitch drops. No Twitch drops. Hey, YouTube chat. See a lot of familiar faces over there too. All right. Starting soon. Why'd the quality get all poopy? There we go. Oh, this is definitely the anti-slug, anti-camp, anti-tunnel announcement. We just don't know where they're going to fall on it. So the agenda here today is they're going to talk about what they're changing from what they presented in the 9.3.0 public test build, what's staying, what's going, what's changing, and then they're going to talk to us about the schedule of the winners of the community design cosmetics. They're going to give us a roadmap over the next year when those are going to be released out in which batches and things like that. And then other news. Now, you know, Eric has said that these moments aren't for marketing or license reveals. I'm sure if you go over to their chat, there's going to be a lot of people pushing for them to reveal what the January chapter is, but I don't expect that's going to happen unless they do something unexpected. But, you know, Eric has said, Eric Pope, the community manager, he has said that they don't have the intention of doing that. So, you know, if they do reveal something, it'll be a surprise, I guess. But I wouldn't sit here with bated breath waiting for that to drop, because I don't think that's happening today. They said they just want to focus on community issues. That's what we're here to talk about, is community issues. Do any of you have any issues in the community? You're all good, right? Everything's perfect? There are no issues in the community? Everything is A-okay in the community. Everything's just peachy. That's right. Everything is just peachy. Once they get going, I'll turn up their volume. And, you know, if you need me to turn mine down, I can do that too. My issues are with the community itself. Our DBD therapy session starts now. Just getting bullied in the endgame chat. I kind of wish, like, you can close the endgame chat, but it doesn't stay closed, so you have to, like, remember to close it every time you boot up, you know? By far the most toxic video game players I've been around, and I've been literally around all the toxic ones. Dang. My game crashes after a few minutes. What? Holy cosplays. Community 10 out of 10, no notes. Yeah, we need some yellow snow on the snow maps. Don't eat the yellow snow. All right, under 30. Well, I was gonna pump the volume now, but sometimes they lead off with something really loud. Okay, we're gonna do it anyway. Guard your ears, everyone, just in case. And pump up the jam. Oh, you can't see the timer. It's behind my head. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're live. I would be lying if I said that I'm not nervous. At the end of the day, whatever the devs decide, and whether you believe they're misguided or not, they're doing this in the interest of
hey everybody.
making the game
Just
better.
reacting to the Shirtless Peanuts request in the chat. Hi, welcome to another DBD community live stream. We are here live from Montreal. We are going to have more faces on this show than we even had last week, which excites me because, like I said last week, I want you to meet more and more of our devs where we can. I have a couple familiar faces with me here today. We've got Mandy, and we've also got Jeff, and I'm Eric, or Pope, or Eric Pope, or whatever you want to call me. And we're here to tell you what's up with DBD. I'll kick us off again the way I did last week, just so people who didn't last month. That feels like a week ago.
It does.
So you don't, you know what the context is here. This is not a big chapter reveal stream. If you came here expecting a chapter reveal, we're not doing that. So just stick around and chill because it should be fun. But this is really, these are called community streams for a reason. We try to address topics that are core to the community, save our big, fancy, fun reveals for our chapter reveals and things like that. So I know you're waiting for the next chapter. You shouldn't have to wait too much longer to find out what it is. It's not going to be today, though. So just relax for a little bit longer. I know you want to know. Okay, so the things we're going to cover on the show today are our PTB to live changes. Last time we were here, Jeff talked through a ton of stuff that was tested, coming up to test in the PTB. We've done it since then. We're going live next week, so we want to tell you what's staying,
it's as
what's
loud
going,
as I can make it,
what's
so
different,
I hope that's good.
We're also going to touch on the Grimoire. If you're not familiar with the Grimoire, that is, we kicked it off earlier this year. You are helping us to build a chapter of Dead by Daylight. And in fact, small world, Jeff is designing our Grimoire killer. So we got some cool stuff to talk about there. While we have him, we're like, let's kill two birds with one stone. And Dork fans, worry not. Dork is she's right now behind the boards running the show, but she will be out here. We're going to switch, and I'm probably going to break everything later on. She and Andre from our team and Brandon from the product team are going to walk through the community cosmetic contest winners, tell you when they're coming with a roadmap, tell you what some changes are, etc. So that's our show for today. If it sounds good, stick around. If it doesn't sound good, go have a sandwich. All right, so I mentioned our next, have a sandwich.
No, I want a sandwich now.
I had one right before. Probably a mistake.
That was brave of you.
So I mentioned our next release is coming up. It is next week. It is on the 25th, right around the corner.
Yeah,
Tuesday. And as I said, we're going to talk in just a couple minutes what you can expect in that release. I did want to note, we all, you, but also us included, want more focus on bugs. That's kind of a through line through everything right now that we're hearing, and totally feel you on that. I wanted to note, we looked at the bug count, the bug fix count, that's coming in the release next week, and it's almost double what was on the PTB build, which is nice.
I have to think it was just slightly
Just
more
about,
than double.
So we're looking good there. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do. We're not pretending we don't, but I just wanted to mention that. So, Mandy, 2v8?
Okay, so as you guys know, 2v8 has just been extended. So that's going to be extended until the 25th, 10 a.m. So you can expect a release at 11 a.m. and 2v8 will finish an hour before. So we've increased the incentives in the 1v4 queue, so to try and balance that queue a bit, because the killers were having a fairly long wait time. We also did a survey, and that's what led us to make the decision to extend. In the survey, I've got numbers. I wrote them down. So above 70% of people wanted the 2v8 to be extended. So it's a lot. It was a lot of people who completed the survey that want that extended.
Yeah.
So
it flies in the
But
face
it's not a
of
long
the
extension,
people who
as you
said
it's not. It's
Taking
over
us
the
right
weekend.
up till the release next week.
It's
a lot of
over the
people.
weekend, and we're doing some testing on the incentives. Let's see how that works out, see how that helps the queue, because obviously we're concerned about, you know, the core queue as well as the event queue, and we're looking at both things. So it's not like we're just looking at one or the other.
Cool.
So we'll let you know more about that as soon as we've got it for the next iterations.
Fantastic. Also coming up, and again, I mentioned this isn't a big reveal stream. We got no flashy assets to show you, but we did want you to mark your calendar. Bone Chill returns as it does each year, so this year is no exception. Bone Chill is returning quite soon as well. It will be before the next stream that we do, our December stream, so it's also right around the corner. We'll have a roadmap, a calendar for the month on December 1st that's going to take you through all the things you can expect, including when Bone Chill drops, currently scheduled right now for December 9th. So stay tuned and see what's happening there.
Okay.
Okay, and
December
then
9th for Bone
finish
Chill.
off the news. Tomorrow is kind of a big day in the DBD comp world, and we're going to be assisting by DBD League is going to be taking over our Twitch channel.
Yeah, I forgot about
And they're going
that.
to be streaming their All Hallows final starting at 12 p.m. ET, so about an hour away, 23 hours away, roughly. I was trying to work out the maths. That was a mistake.
It works.
Yeah, if you like watching
Relatively.
comp,
So
DBD League is going to take over
12
Dead by
p.m.
Daylight's
ET,
Twitch channel.
We'll have
the finals.
DBD League hosting their All Hallows final on our channel. It'll be between Victus and Praxis. So they've been pretty good all the way through, both teams. So you can't, there's not a pin between them at this stage. It could be anyone's, and it's going to be a best of 9 for the final.
Best of 9, wow.
It's going to be pretty cool, and I'm really happy to be doing this with DBD
So people will be
League.
able to watch it right here on
They'll
our
be able
Twitch
to watch
channel.
it right here on our Twitch channel. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right, well, that wraps it up for our brief news segment at the top of the show. Now we are going to dive into our P2B to live changes. We've got a graphic that Dork has queued up, so let's hit it.
Hang on to something. Would be less popular without the blood point incentives, for sure. Then the queues would be horrible, though, right?
Hello again. It's my time to shine. I have the clicker.
Yes, it's Jeff
You have the
time.
The
power.
ultimate power.
It's not dude time, but it's Jeff time.
Yeah, no more
No
detail.
more dude time. I got requests.
I'm here in the middle.
I did want to say, so I want to say something at the top of this segment because last show I said a lot of things. Well, I said a lot of things, but I said the same thing a lot of times that I really wanted people to test that PTB. People found that condescending, and it was not at all the intention. I talked about this on Twitter yesterday. Truly, 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 I mean this. When I say, please test that, it's not, hey, go find bugs for us because we're not able to, because I know that's what people were going to. It's really that without the feedback of our players getting hands-on, because we see your feedback before it's there, but with your hands-on, that's where our team, the community team, can be best equipped to talk to the various internal teams when we make decisions about what goes live in the game. So I'm really sorry if it came across as condescending. I truly
can't
didn't mean it
believe
that
people
way.
took it
I'm a
in a
big
negative
believer
way.
in
Like he said,
PTBs
this
or
is for
PTS,
testing.
depending on the type of game you play.
He was just saying, like, we need you to test
inform
it
the
and tell us
changes
what
that
you
actually
think.
go live to the game. And
Like,
I
I
know
don't
there's a
understand
track
why
record that
anybody
people have pulled on, like, well,
were
but you've done this in the past, and I totally get it. But I just wanted to say that up front, because to me, even if you ever meet me in person, it's probably the first thing I'll tell you about is I'm such a believer in PTB as a tool for us to make what goes live in the game the best it can possibly be. So that's my moment of addressing that at the top of the show. And now I'll hand it over to Jeff to actually tell you what you want to hear.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's a good point because, you know, as I always remind people, we don't make the game for ourselves. We make it for the players, and ultimately, if the players don't like the game, that's not great. So PTB testing is amazing.
Yeah, look at all the blind
right,
spots
so
that
today
people
I
found that they didn't
have some
realize
PowerPoint slides.
they
I don't
put
know if
in
we'll show
by
them all
changing
'cause
things.
it's mostly just text. There aren't
Like the
really any
insta unhook,
visuals
insta heal in
today.
the
I
basement.
don't have any little drawings of Skull Merchant or anything like that. But I do have some important points. So, PTB to Live, what's next? the burning question, what is going live? I know it's been kind of like radio silent for a couple of days / weeks.
Yeah.
So here's the big reveal. So the camping reduction is going live with some small adjustments, and I'll go over that in the next slide. The slugging reduction is not going live, and the tunneling reduction is not going live.
Wow.
So camping.
I would
And
not
actually,
have
if I can
guessed
jump in
that.
before, we're going to get to pallets in a second as well. That wasn't actually part of the PTB changes. It was already
Yeah.
live, but we're going to address that in a minute too. So hang on.
Yeah, the pallet density. Yeah, it's been a hot topic.
Yep.
So for camping, survivors will still see each other's resolve bars when they are hooked.
That's
So
good.
that was very liked across the board. So that's going live. The resolve bar fills up faster the longer the killer stays within range. That's still the same as PTB. However, we are reverting the range increase. So on the PTB it was increased to 20 meters. We're bringing it back down to 16 meters. There was some concerns raised by a lot of you that it would be unfair to the killer in some situations. So we're just bringing it back to what it was before. So why not the rest? So slugging and tunneling. So after a second round of testing, we found that the features did not meet the minimum positive impact that we hoped they would have. And frankly, and just simply put, there was a lot of negative feedback about it. And it's very hard to justify moving forward with something in the live game when the feedback is negative that badly. So that's why it's not going live. So what's next? There's 3 things I think I want to mention. So we understand that tunneling is still a frustrating situation to be in. So one thing that we will try is to increase the base kit endurance and haste to 15 seconds. So it's 5 seconds longer than what's on live right now.
Okay.
And we will be reviewing how MMR is calculated. So we think that by making adjustments there, we could see a reduction in those types of strategies, which means we'll require less drastic changes in terms of like the base game itself. And then the last thing on this topic is that we have started the process of looking at how to improve the first-time user experience. So how new players are onboarded into the game and the things that we teach them and show them and all those things. It's a process that started. There's no ETA. There'll be more details in the future. I can't tell you when, but we have started looking at it, so it's very exciting. Next,
Oh boy.
there were some perk changes that happened with this update. So Babysitter is being reverted to its current live iteration, where it, sorry, brain fart. Brain fart, really big brain fart.
Just saying,
I can't
it's
even read
going
because it's
back
so
the way
small.
it was.
Damn. So you won't leave scratch marks, your pools of blood, and you get 10% haste for 30 seconds. And then the unhooker will see the killer's aura. So that's being reverted to the current live version. Same thing goes for borrowed time. So this will extend the endurance and the haste. Furtive Chase is going back to the version that a lot of you really like, which is that it gives you undetectable and haste when you hook the obsession, sorry. And Off the Record is going to a previous version that we had where you did get endurance, but it was for a shorter amount of time. And the reason why is I think that we can all agree that 80 seconds of endurance is very long and very powerful. So we're cutting it by half. So you'll still get a lengthy amount of endurance, just not for almost a whole gen's worth of time. So that's going in for release. Those are reverts happening for the release next week.
Well, there goes
And
my
then for
undetectable
Hotfix
doctor.
1, we will revert Breakdown and Wicked. So they'll go back to their current live version. It's just, you know, we had to prioritize for the release, and those two felt like they were a little bit less urgent. And however, I think we will mention, do we want to mention for Wicked?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wicked, because we have heard the concerns that it stacks very well with Resurgence, we will be kill switching it to make sure that it can't be abused in any way. So I wanted to mention that.
Hotfix 2.
Hotfix 2 or Hotfix
Hotfix
1?
2.
Hot-
Hotfix 2.
Oh, Hotfix 2.
Yes, because of to
The
make sure
timeline,
that Switch
okay.
is going to be able to
Okay.
not have a problem.
Okay, sorry. So not for Hotfix 1, for Hotfix 2. Next point is, what about killers? So we did have some changes in the PTB for some killers. The first one was Skull Merchant. So the Skull Merchant changes are going live.
Not
but
surprised.
There is a but, and I think this but will make people happy, and not that kind of but.
No, I didn't say anything for once.
You were thinking it though.
I was thinking, don't tell them I'm
So-
thinking that.
Everyone knows Mandy. So the but is we will decouple her undetectable from deploying drones to recalling drones in the hotfix 1 patch. And at the same time, we will revert the undetectable duration nerf that we did in the PTB. So that's something that's coming up in the, not the release next week, the hotfix after. Next is the Cenobite. So the base kit nerf is being reverted, but his add-on original pain is not. So the too long didn't read is you'll be able to bind survivors with controlled chains, even if they have endurance, because on the PTB, you couldn't do that. So that's been reverted to the live behavior that we can expect. And then finally, the last hot topic is what about medkits? So there were 2 medkit add-ons that got changes on the PTB. So we will be keeping a close eye on these add-on changes once they hit live, just so that we
Holy
have
shit.
the broader community
Survivors
at large
lost
to get
everything.
feedback from. And then we'll see what kind of adjustments we need to make there at that point. I think next one is...
Can you click?
Okay.
I've got a laptop on the
Sorry,
thing. I
I'm
can't
clicking.
click as well.
Everything
Okay,
got reverted
So, Waterhaven
except
lighting, that was another
the
major topic
add-ons for
of the PCB.
medkits.
And as you'll see from the video, there are some changes that we've made. Thank you so much for the feedback about this, by the way. You helped the team identify exactly what they needed to change. And as you will see, a lot of you will see, I can't see because I'm colorblind, it's more green. Everybody is telling me this is more green. It's lost the yellow color, and I'm being really
Green.
careful with what I describe that
Oh,
as.
you mean the piss filter?
I knew you would go there. I'm
That's
a
what
lady.
players lovingly call it.
I'm a lady. I'm not gonna say it. So yeah. So that is going to be the green color. So there's still going to be a bit more fog, but it is looking so much better. And honestly,
Are you
playing
kidding
on
me?
that,
Like with
it was
no
really
change
good.
to the styptic? It's worse
The
than a
piss
brown
filter is
add-on.
gone. Look at that. I said it.
You're putting that styptic in the way it is?
Actually, before we get to, we told you we'd get to the palette density stuff, but I want, if you could humor me for a second, 'cause I meant to do this at the top. I'm very interested because, you know, survivors and killers are always at each other's throats in the game, in the community, in
Yeah.
the chat. If you're a killer, main, hit K in chat. And if you're a survivor main, hit S in chat. If you play both, hit me with a B. I'm just super interested to see what our chat right now consists of. I'm just really
They
curious.
want killers to keep their 100 streaks
great.
going. I
Thank you
heard there's a
for
killer that has
letting me orchestrate this
1,500
madness.
streaks.
I love the
on,
first-time
I believe
chatters
it's Blight
coming
and
in.
Nurse.
Look at that.
1,500 win
Oh,
streaks.
sorry, you can see as well.
No, I can see, I can see.
Super interesting.
A lot of B.
And you can continue to do that. We're going to talk about the palette density changes now, but I just thought that was interesting, I think, for everyone to be able to look at each other and see who does what and
Yeah.
get a sense for roles in the game. I know that if you're one or the other, it's your life, and the other person, sometimes we don't see their point of view, and, you know, I'm not going to be able to make everyone do that, but I would love if people, yeah, Dork's there. Hey, Dork. Would love if people could be more civil with each other about their chosen roles.
And understand that, you know, understand the other side.
Exactly.
There's a human being on the other side of that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Palette
palettes.
density. Okay, so this has been a big one. As you know, there was the changes that were made. These were not PTB, these were made in the last release. And we've done a lot of discussion with you on the forums and Reddit, and thank you so much for all the detailed feedback, the screenshots, everything that you've provided. That has really, really helped. We're not doing a full revert of the palette density. We've identified specific areas. So some really strong God loops, Asylum, we're looking at you because that one was a big one. There were some insane loops on Asylum that got created. So those are gone. Those are going to be much weaker. Back to about a better standard, a bit more balanced, I should say. We've reduced the strength of chainable loops, so making sure that you can't chain a loop straight from shack straight into a jungle gym where you've got a double pallet in the jungle gym, for example, so that we've taken out those specifically strong loops and randomized a lot of the tiles on
Chapel
Swamp
comes to
and
mind.
Asylum. Those ones in particular were multiple pallets spawning at a specific tiles and then leading into a strong window. So we have taken care of those. So again, this is going to go live on Tuesday. Please, please, please test it and let us know exactly your thoughts on it. And if you come to the forums, Reddit, anywhere to give us the feedback, if you can grab screenshots and press that escape button to just get the map tile, that is so helpful to our level design team to see exactly where the issues are, because that gives them the seed of the map.
Yeah, Asylum
they
had
can
like
pull that
2
up on
pallets in
their
a tile
side and see where
sometimes.
the problems are occurring.
And you already said it, but I'll say it again. I really thank you to everybody who helped us. So the community team, my team, of which Mandy's on, you're on the design team, put in a lot of work, putting threads together for every one of the maps, getting targeted feedback for each one. Where are the problematic palettes, et cetera, et cetera. So it was a good amount of work, and it was also a great amount of participation from the community in helping us get to what these changes are. So
I hope
thanks
they
to
don't
everyone
touch
involved.
Haddonfield too much,
Happy
because
with
I
that
think
one.
that one needed extra pallets.
Feedback, we love it.
It really helps.
Cool. So that is our, yes. Looks like you were going to say
There's more.
something. Go ahead.
I'm not saying anything else.
Oh.
I haven't actually, no, because we were pulling up questions right the way through.
It's
So
crazy, isn't it? It's worthless.
a lot of things that I'm seeing is, what about Cenobite? And I'm just pointing out in the chat that you missed it. Field Agent Reaper, you missed it.
Yeah, Cenobite base kit is being reverted, so you'll be able to bind those survivors with endurance as you would previously.
Someone's also asking, well, at least one someone, it probably was more earlier. But what about the full rework of the Skull Merchant? You can remind them what we said before.
Yeah, so at this stage, we're going to make the changes in hotfix 1 and then approach it the same way that we did with this PTB and see if more changes are needed, and if yes, what kind of changes are needed. So it's not gone, we're just reassessing as we go.
Where are the wins from
Apologies
Project
about the
Health?
mute button on the portrait behind me that someone just told me about in chat.
Is there?
I guess so. I saw it pop.
It just keeps flickering.
Oh, yeah.
Movie magic spoiled.
See, you let me with the controls earlier. I broke everything.
Cool.
Ooh, Mindbreaker.
Yes.
Yes, Mindbreaker will be back in the release on Tuesday. I'm seeing some questions
Yeah.
about that in the chat.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
Good grab.
It was capped, so I saw it. I don't have my glasses on again. I've done it again.
Someone's asking about a shirtless Death Slinger skin, which of course they're joking. But
No, they're not.
But maybe I've seen something that's in production right now that might be going in that direction. I don't know. Cool. Well, feel free to keep asking questions in the chat. We still have a lot more show to go. But as I mentioned before, Jeff's not done. We want to talk about the Grimoire with him as well. I don't recall, Dork, if we have a transition for that one or if we should go right into it. We'll go right into it. But we have more PowerPoint. So very quick, if you haven't been around, as I said at the top of the show, the Grimoire is us building a chapter with the community based on many votes already done so far to get a baseline for who our killer is, who our survivor is. And Jeff now is beginning work on the killer. And there's a reason he's here, actually. It's not to actually give you information on an upcoming vote. So do you want to take it away, Jeff?
Yep, sure. So the Grimoire, very exciting stuff, by the way. You know, I'm officially transitioning out of the live balance team.
No
and moving
anti-tunnel,
on to
no
killer design,
anti-slug.
which is something I've done in the past, but you know, I
Very
think we
little
did
tweak to
a lot of
anti-camp.
good work in live design. So shout out to everyone who's helped me, you know, bring all these designs to life. I think it's been a great success. But yes, I am moving on and entering this new area with a very new process of involving the players, which is very interesting, and I'm excited to bring everyone with me on this journey, and I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I will. So the next steps. The first one that I wanted to go through is just kind of like give a reminder of what was voted on in the previous series of votes. So this is the votes that are specifically pertaining to the gameplay, because there were some votes about more like the general vibe of the killer and everything like that. But this is really focused on the gameplay. So the first thing is Torment was voted. So curses and maladies that grow worse over time. And I'm just reminding you to like set the stage for the next slides so that we're all on the same, you know, page of what we're going to talk about.
So that's the killer's
The next
power.
one is punishing heart. Misdeeds will be met with a devastating response. To sin is to suffer. And finally, each sin is unique. The most fitting punishment must be rendered for each individual sin. Only prayer can save the sinner.
We've been talking so much about sinning lately. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, in our discussions, sometimes we're like, that kind of sounds a little weird, but you know what? We got to go with it because that's what's been voted for. So we're working with
There's
it.
no sinners in the DBD community, so it's going to be new for them.
Exactly. Everyone's an angel. And I think one thing that's important to maybe bring to the forefront is usually how killer designs work is that the creative director, so in this case, Dave, you've seen him many times before, will give us pillars or like a direction, really, of what the killer should be. And so he's done this exercise with the votes that you guys cast, previously. And the 3 pillars that he has given me to work with, because even though we're voting on the power together, which is really exciting, there was still some exploration to do. So to do that exploration, I needed a bit of a direction, right? So the 3 pillars are status builder. So the killer must apply an effect that progresses throughout the match. And how it applies, how it progresses, these are all things that we'll figure out together. Fitting punishment. So the killer must exact punishment equivalent to the sin that was committed. And force of judgment. The killer is a terrible divine being. Survivors should fear being judged. So again, this idea of like divine purity, judgment is very, very present. So, like I said, you guys will be voting on the power, which is unprecedented.
Yeah, that's a biggie.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I'm so curious to see what will be the most voted. And the way that we will do this is that it's going to be broken down into 4 components. So with the design team, we brainstormed and we have identified a bunch of different things that will basically build a kit, and you guys will vote on those components for said kit. So the first component is an active power. So it gives room for skill expression and engaging chases, engaging gameplay. The second is, how does one gain a sin, right? Because this whole idea of sinning is very important. How does a sin progress? And what is the effect of a sin? So with the most voted results, like I said, we'll put together a full design as a starting point for the prototype phase, which is set to begin sometime in December. And I know the community team has a lot of things planned for the sharing of all this information, which is very exciting. And I hope that you guys will enjoy being on this ride with me because I think it's really, really cool. So here it is. What is your active power? And just for some context, here I'm going to share with you the choices that you guys will vote on in the near future. And it's just to give you some time to think about it and even start theory crafting and putting your designer brains to work, really. So what is your active power? Choice number 1 is the Ray of Retribution. You deliver a beam of divine energy that punishes the unworthy. So I like to put little examples or references that you guys can use that are already in the game so that you can have a better or an easier time understanding what I'm trying to convey. And so here it's a reverse xenomorph flame turret. So you imagine the killer has let's imagine it's a sword or a spear, and they use that to charge and channel this beam of energy that will, punish the survivors. However that works, we could explore different things, and that's where it's interesting because this is very high level, right? It's just an idea of a beam, but how does that beam interact with the environment? Does it create pseudo holes that you can then shoot again through, but at a much faster rate? Does it go through walls? Do you send it forward and it moves on its own? These are all explorations that we can do and expand upon once we have that final vote.
Another good shorthand that the chat has decided on is the Goku blast. The command.
Exactly. Choice number 2, pursuing
Ray of
smite. You
purification.
throw your weapon or a projectile. It could be anything really, and control its path to the better to smite the unworthy. So the comparison here that I make is imagine it's the artist's dire crow, but with the Cenobites controlled chain. So it's a projectile that you send forward and you control as it moves around the level. And some explorations that we could do here is, well, does it go through walls? Does it accelerate over time? Is it a slow-moving projectile? Is it a fast-moving projectile? So these are, again, things that we can expand upon once we have the final vote. And the final one for the active power is the desolation zone. You throw your weapon to the ground, affecting the unworthy near the impact. So the comparison for this one is, imagine you have the Cenobites gateways, so you place it, and from that, you shoot something, you throw a spear, or you throw a boulder, something, and it creates an AoE damage zone that will injure survivors that are caught within. So those are your choices for the active power. Put your designer thinking hats on, and
I wonder
theory
if they'll
craft
say
all of
like
it.
what
I
the
think it's super cool.
timetable is that they're looking to
The
finish
next
this
one is,
chapter.
how does one gain a sin? So the first choice is foul ambition. Sins are chosen based on player progress. So for example, after 4 hooks have been reached, a specific sin is given. Or when a gen is completed, a specific sin is given. So these are very much like game state changes that will drive
Wait a
the
minute,
sins
doing
throughout the match.
generators is sinning now?
Second one is predestination. So the sins are chosen at the start of the trial. For example, you can imagine a survivor is assigned the sin of cowardice. Of course, these are just examples. Don't take it as face value. The sins could be many,
that
many
is
things.
a sin right
It could
there.
be like
You're
very
hiding out
powerful,
like a little
very
rat. That is
silly.
a sin.
Like they could be a wide variety of things. But the idea here is that with the sin of cowardice, they would scream sporadically, right? Until, of course, they repent and pray and
Yeah, repent
get
and
rid
do
of
the
sin. But
gens.
the idea is that from the start of the trial, each survivor is given a sin, and they have to deal with it in some way. And the last one is blasphemous acts. Sins are chosen by transgressions committed in the trial.
Teabagging.
So, for example,
Blasphemy.
if you hook a survivor, or if you perform a specific action such as, heal someone, or if you get hit by the killer's power, or if you loot a chest, or if you loot all chests, like you can think of all the possibilities of what these transgressions could be, and we can expand on that again. Next one is how does sin accumulate? Number 1 is the pain of wrath. Sin accumulates by your hand. Hitting the unworthy with your active power increases their sin. So the comparison here that I'd make is like the Nemesis with his tentacle. You first hit the survivor to infect them, and then you can hit them again to injure them. So it's like more of a build-up thing. Or like the plague, when you vomit on a survivor, they gain sickness, and the more you vomit on them, the sicker they get until they are fully sick.
Javier's just like, just tell me what you've
Just imagine that the killer has an
when
active
it's
part
done.
in applying this pressure on survivors. Choice number 2 is the pain of inevitability. Sorry, I'm French, so sometimes words are difficult. But yeah, it's inevitable. And what that means is that sin accumulates over time. So only an act of repentance can undo the sin. So think of like the Nightmare's sleep meter or the Mastermind's Ouroboros infection. Once it's applied, it will build up over time passively, and then it does a thing. Or maybe it does something at the same time.
Teabagging at the
Again,
exit
these
gate
are all
is the
things that we can
ultimate
expand upon
sinning.
and explore. But really at this stage, we're trying to find the different components to put together the final kit. Or sorry, not the final one, but the one that we'll explore as a starting point for the prototype. Because during the prototype phase, many things can happen, whether it's like, technical limits, whether it's, it's just not interesting or not fun. And obviously, I think everyone can agree that we want this power to be really fun, right?
Which is again why I'm so excited about this as a whole project. Yeah, it's one thing for it to be on paper, and now let's jump into prototype land and then see it in action. And we want to take you on the ride for that. So it's going to be a cool year ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And the final one is the pain of artifacts. So the unworthy may try to wield your relics, but they risk facing severe punishment. I think for this one, the best example
I feel
is
like
the
they're out of
legendary
ideas and
items
want us
for
to
the
do all
Lich.
the work.
So
Well, I
when
mean,
you
they
grab
could
the Eye
go
of Vecna,
forward
the
with any
Hand
one of these
Vecna,
combinations that they want to do.
have that super
They're giving us
powerful
the
ability,
choice to
but
influence
at
it,
the
right?
risk of being worried if you get caught, which is a bit extreme. But that's the idea. It's like there's a risk versus reward. You get that reward from wielding the relic, but there's a risk tied to it. And I think this is the last part, the last component.
I ask myself this one every day.
There's a lot of slides in this PowerPoint. I'm so sorry. How do you punish sinners? So again, there's 3 choices. The first one is relentless suffering. So sinners are punished until they repent. So think of an ongoing effect like the Doctor's madness. So
Yeah, I
while you're
don't think they're
madness,
out
you
of
have
ideas
different
either.
effects that are
They're
applied to
just
you. But the
presenting
example that
several
I think
ideas
I've
and
been exploring that I think is really cool is you can imagine that
telling
there's
the
like
community
these
what do you like.
divine spears again, or like divine weapon that just rain upon the survivor. Obviously balanced, not just constant. But if they get hit by multiple of those spears, they get injured or something. So just imagine you have to like play this game of dodging for a while during
Repent,
your
you gen rushing
sinning phase.
sinners.
Choice number 2 is Merciless Smite. Sinners fuel your determination to unleash retribution. So this could be seen in 2 ways. The first one is that it could be that the survivors have additional effects when they're hit by your active power. Or the second one is that maybe you as the killer get buffed from having sinners in your match. So you are really, again, fueled with the determination to punish them and judge them. I think that could be also an interesting thing to explore. And here the comparisons that I made is, again, the Nemesis mutation level, because it affects the range of his tentacle, or we have the shape when he tears up, well, doesn't tear up anymore really, but he gets base stat bonuses from the mode
no
that
new
he's
content
in.
announcements. That's not on the stream.
The last one, it's very ambitious, but it's also
Who's
really
my
cool,
little
I think.
sinner, Dwight?
I mean, all of them are really cool, but like this one is just so ambitious, and I think it's out there. But you know, just imagine it for a second. Hopeless exile. Sinners are banished to another realm laden with challenges. So imagine it's a different plane where the survivor is sent when they are a sinner, and they have to survive a mini challenge. So, you know, whatever that is, whether it's like collecting something,
Wonder how they
whether
do
it's
that.
dodging projectiles, whether it's being chased by something, they have to survive a challenge to repent their sins, basically. And what would be really cool is if the killer can then enter this realm and deliver judgment themselves, right? Because again, you are this terrible divine being, and you are punishing like being. You want to punish sinners. And so having the ability to go in there and do that yourself, I think is very powerful from a fantasy standpoint.
Right? It's just like the
yeah.
Halloween event,
So,
right? It's exactly
it.
like that.
That's my spiel.
Chat got
Like
very
Homer
excited
going to
at the
hell. You got to eat all these
Definitely.
donuts.
Again, like,
okay.
Exploded.
This is what's really neat is that you guys have the power to basically guide the direction. You're kind of like, you're playing the role of a creative director, right? Like you're guiding the direction of the kit, and you're saying
There
like,
goes
this
the
is what we should
possibility
explore,
of
and that's
Vecna
the
sending
whole
you to
idea
the
with
upside
this,
down. Kind
with
of
this
sounds
next
like that,
phase
doesn't it?
of voting is we want to make sure that what we explore is aligned with what you guys want. So by having these different components as opposed to a full kit, is you get to pick what you want for an active power. You get to pick how a sin is
Comics is
applied.
gonna sue us
And then
for
by putting them
recreating
together,
Ghost Rider.
we'll take this and put something together for the prototype phase. And as Eric said, we're going to keep you informed as we go along. But at least the foundation at which we will that we'll start with will be based on what you guys want. And I think that's really important, right? Because it's a collaborative effort with the community and the devs.
Hell
It
yes.
sounds like, depending on how many
So
people
the vote
you
is
could
not
send
today. I
to
don't know if we said that
basically
already,
this
but we
void.
wanted to give you time to chew on all of this, to soak in
That
it, bathe
sounds
in it, baste yourselves
like
in
that
these
would be
choices,
OP.
discuss amongst yourselves. If you're a survivor, make a friend with a killer and discuss. And then we're going to do the vote in the coming weeks. It's going to be in December. It's not far away, but it's not today. So take some time, think it over, review the clips from this stream.
Sinners
I'm really
will be
excited to see the
spanked.
discussions around. I've been excited watching the chat
Yeah.
react and discuss just through the segment. So yeah, super exciting. Thank you, Jeff, for going through that. Thank you for all of you for staying tuned. We're not done with the show. I mentioned at the top, we're going to do a big switcheroo now. We've got more folks to bring on. Dork's going to come out here. I'm going to go back there and try not to break the stream. And we'll be right back
Yeah,
to
Dork's running
talk
the-
you through the community
operation.
I did it again. Community Cosmetic Contest release roadmap. So we'll be right back, and Dork will be here.
Yeah, I don't think they're out of
thank you.
ideas.
I'll miss you guys.
You can
Bye.
make it, you know, you can say, well, a lot of these are just converted powers from other killers. That's not something new. They've been doing that for a while, right? So I don't think by any means they're out of ideas. I think it's cool that they're including the community in the process. I understand that that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, that they just want to go, look, just tell me what it is when it's ready. They don't want to like have to think about what this killer is going to be it's an interesting idea to get the community involved, and it's not mandatory, obviously, but I don't think by any means they're out of ideas. 2 PTBs and still nothing for tunneling and slugging. I'm really shocked that the slugging one didn't go through at the very least. I think 2 minutes on the ground for recovery isn't overbearing. Am I crazy in saying that? That if you're on the ground for 2 minutes, you should be able to get up? I don't know. So far, anti-slug, trashed. Anti-tunnel, trashed. All the changed perks. I guess anything that they adjusted is reverted, right? But the only thing that went through were the nerfs to the syringe and the styptic agent for medkits, and we're left with a purple
Hey
styptic
there, everybody,
agent
and welcome
that
back.
isn't any more valuable
I'm
than a
super
brown
excited to be
medkit
talking
add-on.
about the cosmetic roadmap. So, if you didn't know, which you should, I'm Community Manager Dork.
Hi, I'm Senior Community Manager Andre. Hi, everyone. Excited to be here.
New face.
Hello.
And hi, I'm Brandon, product manager, and I worked alongside Dork, Andre, and other members of the team to determine the finalists.
All right. So first and foremost, we wanted to take the time to thank you all for participating in yet another Dead by Daylight Design a Cosmetic contest this year. And within the 2025 contest window, we actually received over 5,000
it's
submissions.
hard to
Can you
find
imagine?
a
Well,
win.
you've seen them all.
Yeah.
For
But
Project Health.
seriously,
What did we actually
5,000,
get out of
and they've
Project
been
Health for
full of
2025?
amazing badges, banners, and
Somebody
outfits.
tell me.
Let me tell you, all of us,
Somebody tell
Dom,
me
Brandon,
what
myself,
we
all
actually
of the
got
team,
for Project Health 2025.
We were really taken aback
I'll
by
wait.
our community's continued expression of passion and skill. Seriously, folks, you never cease to amaze us with your talent. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, absolutely. We were blown away. As Andre said, we crawled through 5,000 contest submissions. It was insane, but it was so worth it to see everyone's skill and expression coming out.
The camping meter.
It was super difficult
And we
for us
got
to slim it down to
some
kind of figure
colorful
out
scratch
who to
marks.
move forward for the finalists, but it was really well worth it.
Well, when we went through these cosmetic submissions, by the way, we tried to pay close attention to what is technically possible, similar to how do we, build our own concepts. So some tweaks are to be expected, especially when we try to make mix and match work.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, congratulations to all of our amazing winners for the Dead by Daylight 2025 Cosmetic Contest. And just so you all are aware, we've reached out to all of our contest winners to inform them of what changes needed to be made for their cosmetics and what is going to be needed to undergo to bring it into the world of the fog. But since we reached out to them and shared that, we thought we'd reach out to you all and share it here. So we'll be going over that in a moment.
And just a little FYI, the legal part, some submissions from certain artists, that we're still in talks with, regarding the legal aspect of things. We won't be able to talk about those today, so you may not see them as we go through this section. But let's go ahead and take it away and get a look at some Survivor cosmetic winners.
Yeah. So to start us off, we've got Runway Ready by Blake Brewer for Jane Romero. Is there anything you want to add about this one, Brandon?
Yeah, for sure. Like for this winner, our art team informed us that, there we go, lovely red and black combination right there. Our art team informed us that they need to lower Jane's high heels, kind of as is expected with high heels on her game sometimes, but also the flounce on her skirt might be a little bit different between the 2D concept and when we go to 3D, especially with our current tech. So we'll try to keep it as nice, nice and floaty to respect the concept. But other than that, some other small details that may be changed, which kind of line up with what I said before, mix and match. The choker might have to be changed and modified a bit in terms of where it's positioned, as well as the waist belt placement to work in agreement with, as I said, the mix and match. If the team decides not to move the waist belt, we could also have the possibility of linking the cosmetic.
Right, which would also make it so that we could keep it as true to the concept as
Authentic,
possible.
yeah.
So there's still a win there. All right, so next up we've got Weathered Trek by Teeth Jars for Tori Kane, which the team does not currently foresee any need to make any changes from the concept, so they will work to try to keep it as faithful to the concept as possible. Moving on, our next winner, we have Star Student by Lin for Fong Min. Another cosmetic that the team does not foresee any need to deviate from the concept art, and we'll try our best to, once again, keep it close in line to the concept. And last, but definitely not least, The Slayer by Tina Beans for Kate Denson. So is there anything we want to talk about this one?
It's also red and black, like the chain outfit. No, but I mean, all jokes aside, this is a real fun one. Currently, we're in the mind to keep this outfit as is. When we get to the 3D, just kind of keep it as is, remain as faithful to the concept as possible.
Okay. Yeah. So now on to our killers, and I'll go ahead and let
Watch out, Dracula.
Andre go ahead and take over this one.
Yes, let's go. So for our first winner, we have Periwinkle the Jester by Kachan for the Wraith. Tell us about this one, Brandon, please.
Such a great cosmetic, by the way.
I bet you that headpiece is
For
going
this
to get
one,
shortened.
our team informed us that they're going to need to make add some blood stains to this outfit. So expect a little bit of a tweak on that side to get the killer more to level of what killers do, which is kill. Sorry. But we'll make some slight changes to, size of the collar, maybe a bit on the headgear, so that mix and match works a little bit best. And again, also to avoid any technical issues, such as clipping, which you'll hear me talk about quite a bit soon.
Yeah, they did already announce the winners. Now
Alright,
they're just talking
our
about like
next
the
winning
schedule when
submission
these
is
will come
called
out.
Splinter Rose by Arth, and it's for the night. What about this one?
So in terms of changes for the night, our team informed us of what they'll need to make some changes with this outfit specifically is the hair, as they worry as they'll have heavy instances of, you guessed it, clipping, our old nemesis, clipping.
That's his hair?
Currently, they're in the mind of linking the cosmetic so that we can really keep it,
thought that was a
as
cape.
close to the concept and remain faithful, but we're still in discussion. So, I guess you'll hear from us if we do make some final decisions on that. But if they choose not to link it and keep it mix and match, then you could expect some changes with the hair, maybe getting shorter, or maybe being part of like the cape, kind of. Not really, but a lot to unpack there. But you'll hear from us soon.
My fingers are crossed for linking it so that we keep the hair as long as possible.
It's a great cosmetic.
I want it all the way down.
Agreed, it's amazing. So on to the next, we have Dino Girl by Maru for Susie of the Legion. What about this one?
Another very colorful, if you can't tell, I just love colorful outfits. But yeah, Susie, for this cosmetic, the team informed us that, since this cosmetic doesn't have a hood, we'll need to make this a link cosmetic and it will not be mix and match. So with that being said, I know that, it's linked, but it does open up the team to making this super authentic, super close to concept. So, just a great outfit that I'm excited for Legion to have. So great, unique outfit.
Oh yeah, and here we are with our final winner and kill submission, the Lingering Launcher by Trip for the Death Slitter.
Yeah, for this one, the team doesn't expect to make any changes. So again, we'll keep this one as close to the concept as possible.
Awesome.
Right.
So with that, please give a huge round of applause to all the cosmetic winners.
Golf clap.
Well deserved. And thank you so much for sharing your time, talent, and skill with us here at Behavior, but also to the Dead by Daylight community as a whole. Thank you. You are awesome.
Yes, there's truly never a dull moment here when it comes to the contest. And I'm already ready for next year's just to see all of the amazing things that are going to be coming in and also what people are going to resubmit. Please resubmit. And
is an
I'm super
option.
looking forward to it. But we're not done. We still got badges and banners. So let's go ahead and look at those badges. So we've got it all here on this very nice little asset. We've got Moonstone Maurice by Drawn by Dragons, Failed Hunt, I'm Cooked by Strawberry, Artist Muse by Dat Washi, Raccoon Feast by Glossopho.
And for our banners, we have Deadly Prize by Juno.
Purgatory.
We have Aching by Joybalance. We have You Seen My Dog by Hushy Pop. And we have Purgatory by Squid Thickness. I love the names. I just love it.
So good. And once again, congratulations to all of our insanely talented artists here. And remember, if you didn't see a cosmetic on here or in the roadmap, it's because we're still in the process of signing with those artists.
Yes. Okay, so while everything we've shown you here has been great,
No
you're probably
January
wondering,
chapter
well,
announcement.
when can I get it? And we're going to
Eric
answer
said
that by showing
soon,
you a
but I don't know what
roadmap
that means.
of what's to come. But, and still not that kind of but, we can't do that until we let you know about a few additions coming with the 2024 cosmetic contest. What's up with that?
Yeah, so with the 2024 Dead by Daylight
Oh, yeah, we're
cosmetic
missing the
contest,
bloody
it was the
rubber
first
duck.
time we got to go from 1 winner per category to 3. And that
And
was huge
the
because we got to add and basically inject
banner.
so much more artists into the fog.
Yeah, and then, shortly after the contest was done, the team came to realize that we had extra slots in our upcoming rifts, which, gives us an opportunity to add more. So our team took a look at the votes, and we chose the next killer and survivor that would have won, so the runner-ups for
Really?
the 2024 contest,
What?
to also come into the fog.
So please join us in welcoming from the 2024 Dead by Daylight cosmetic contest finalists to the winner pool. And I want to say, because someone said on Twitter, oh, Dork, if you can, sneak this one in. I don't have to sneak, because it's here. Space Rider by VR Gabriel, for Gabriel Soma, and A House Not a Home by Ivana.
Oh, wow.
They
I
have
voted for
come
that
in,
one.
and to keep them on par, we're going to also give them the same rewards that we gave for the 2024 winners, and they will be treated as winners moving forward.
As they should. Congrats. And we've already sent out to these folks the same rewards that our 2024 and 2025 winners received. So VR Gabriel and Ivana, be on the lookout for that. Check your emails, please.
Yes. And also for all of our winners, we'll be working on getting that an exclusive cosmetic contest badge for you. And I think I have it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, this was just to show both of them together. Look how lovely.
What about the...
But this amazing exclusive badge is going to be for our winners. The
that's
CM
neat.
team actually concepted this, and we got an early version. I'm super excited for everyone to get their hands on this. The finished version will actually have the year that you won on the trophy, so looking forward to that.
Yes, it looks amazing. And on behalf of the Dead by Daylight community team, and product team, and
Thank you.
What about the
everyone,
Flower of Life
basically,
Hattie?
we truly thank you for creating such wonders, and we are super excited to be welcoming these amazing additions to the fog.
Yes. Even more community cosmetics into the fog is a huge win for all of us. I'm so glad that we saw that opportunity to get some more. But enough of that. I'm sure you're like, okay, roadmap, Dork. I got all day. So let's go ahead and pop right into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's our plan for 2020. Well, it sounds weird to say 2024, but these are the 2024 winners to expect along with the 2025 winners. As you can see, currently we have Adam's Late Night Nut Lecture and Dredge's Fear of Reminiscence, along with some entity-based player cards like the Entity Touched Petals banner and the NT Kitty badge. In our upcoming Rift, Jesus, sorry.
Oh, this is the newest. Oh, so
expect
that's why
to
we
see
didn't get the
Space
badge
Rider
banner.
Gabriel and House Not a Home Dredge, the ones that we just announced.
Wow.
Along with some animal-themed player cards. The Riding Maurice banner and Bloodbath Ducky badge.
Rubber ducky.
I call it Ducky badge. We'll get a
Flower
mini
of
badge
Life, there
in
it
between
is.
the rifts with the Flower of Life outfit for Hattie, which will be in the in-game store as part of the Artist from the Fog collection. And a note on this. This submission is also considered a 2024 winner and will also receive a Design a Cosmetic winner badge for 2024 and the Oryx Excel prize. I guess check your emails, right, Andre?
Yes, you too. You
Sorry
check
about
your
that.
emails. Everyone check your emails. That was a big thing.
Wait,
Sorry,
move the
I just
camera. We
like
can't
1
see the
second.
badge, Eric.
That's a big thing
Thank you.
last year in 2024 in the contest. Like we're having trouble reaching out to people because a lot of them did not check their emails. We did fix this in this year because we asked you guys for your social media, and it helped a lot. You cannot imagine how much it helped because we were able to reach out to folks through their social channels because, well, not everyone checks their emails.
It was great though too because like we'd send you an email, it's like hey, and then we'd send you a DM on Twitter, hey, and then we'd send you a DM on Instagram, hey, please.
They didn't talk about the artist from the fog.
I guess we can go back to where were we actually?
Dev
Oh yeah, we were
pick
at
for the
batch number 2.
Houndmaster
So for our
outfit.
next batch, we have the 2025 winners.
Oh.
Starting with Runway Ready Jane,
We're going more
Periwinkle,
than
the
this?
Jester Wraith, the Purgatory banner. I can't say it as good as Andre. I'm sorry.
Purgatory.
I want to give that. I want to let Andre have that. And the Failed Hunt I'm Cooked badge. For the next batch,
Hey, all right.
we will have Star Student Fung, Splinter Rose Knight, the Deadly Prize banner, and the Moonstone Maurice badge. Following that, the next batch after that will feature the
Nice
Slayer
sound effect.
Kate outfit and the Lingering Rancher Deathslinger outfit. And I really love these two because they have this like country vibe.
Yeehaw.
Great to pair them together. Then I was gonna say yeehaw, but yeah, again, I can't say it as good as Dork. Anyway, we also have the Aching banner and the Raccoon Feast badge in that batch. And finally, our last batch from the winners is our Diner Girl Legion for Susie and the Weathered Trek Tori. We also have those badges and banners, so we'll have Artists Muse and the Have You Seen My Dog banner.
So that artist from the fog
Ben, thank you so much.
is going to be
And,
the
yeah, there's more to come.
Houndmaster, probably,
Yeah,
with the white
once
hair.
again, like we said, if you missed it earlier, if someone was missing from here, it's because we're still in process of talking with them, and we're just trying to make sure we get all the legal stuff done. So don't worry. But thanks so much for giving us the full rundown on that roadmap and giving everyone in the chat a view and some visibility on when stuff is coming and how stuff is coming. It's super awesome.
Hey guys, we're talking about the
and also
grimoire and the
remember,
community cosmetics longer than
just
we're
because you
talking
didn't
about
see yourself,
anti-tunnel
or
and
you didn't
anti-slug.
see yourself in the finalists or you didn't win the 2025 Design a Cosmetic contest does not mean that you can't. So please submit. Please, if you had something that you're really proud of, feel free to resubmit, please. And next year, I'm super excited to see everyone, take a stab at it. So yeah. Next up, we do have something though from Andre, who wanted to talk about regional stuff.
What's that mean?
I just wanted to take a moment to discuss potential regional expansion. Just by the nature of my work, I'm more connected with all the regional stuff. So I know, and we all know, when it comes to submitting your entries, some of the regional restrictions that are currently in place can be frustrating.
Okay, now I know what they mean.
As we have incredibly talented artists all around the world. I've seen your guys' work on socials, and we've heard your voice loud and clear. So we started to make some steps to improve this. So this year, for the first time, we were able to allow the residents of Quebec to participate.
It's
which is a
crazy
small
Quebec
but
couldn't
really
even
important
participate
step for
before.
us. So after all, we are right now in Quebec. So with that said, we will be working with our legal team on how we can potentially expand the list of countries that can participate in future contests. It's really important to us. So keep an eye out for more news on that.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's everything we've got for you today.
Yeah, 'cause
thank
there's
you so
only
much
like
for watching,
8
and
or
be
10
sure to
countries that are
congratulate
allowed
all
to
of our winners
participate in the
on a job well
contest
done in the cosmetic
because of legal
contest.
reasons, so they wanna
But that's
see
also
if they
not
can
everything we have in the
add
show,
more countries.
actually.
What?
Yeah.
So
There's
what
more?
if I told you I had something else to show you? Something that we'll be giving out on the socials to show you, like Elodie's badge and banner. Did y'all want to see that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, is it a little too weird to show that to you guys, or do you think we should show them?
I want to see it.
Yeah,
see
maybe.
it.
Let's
Yeah,
see
maybe.
it.
Okay, let's go ahead and see it then, I guess. So here's the badge for Elodie, which is going to be Elodie's skull,
That's not her skull. Her skull's in her
and
head.
then after that, we'll have her banner, which
that's
is
hot.
Elodie in the catacombs. And oh, hold on, I'm getting a message beamed to my brain. Okay.
Oh, you figure it out. Like,
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. What?
Get a poster
Brother,
board.
huh?
Tell them about Singularity's face.
What about his face?
Singularity's face. They're putting his.
I'm like,
They're putting his face back on.
So yeah, guys, Singularity's face update is coming next on the next release on Tuesday. So we'll get to see his updated face.
The community design with the frowny face, smiley face thing.
You heard it here first. But that's going to be it for the cosmetic contest and for showing the badge and banner for Elodie and the roadmap. Thank you all so much for hanging in there with us. The last thing we're going to do, actually, before we send you off and into the ether, into the fog, is we thought it'd be fun to debut the next episode of our social micro lore series, First Kills, which brings you into the mind of our killers when they were committing their first act of, I don't know, stabbies.
Did you see the first
Not
one
all
of these they
them,
did?
But, you know, this has been a blast working on it with our narrative team, and especially for me, myself, editing them and putting together with the Singularity one. I put a lot of heart into this one. So I really hope you all enjoy it. And we'll see you guys next time. But please, for now, enjoy the tale of Singularity's first kill. Bye.
Bye.
Did they upload First Kills Part 1 to YouTube? I only saw it on Twitter. Yeah, the first one was the Huntress, that's right. I'm assuming it's only on Twitter if it's this framing.
It will be fast, possibly painless.
All right. So that's that. Well, what do we think? Dwight, help me, buddy. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing every game now. I'm with you, Dwight. We're all gonna be hiding in the locker waiting for it to be over. Okay. Down, 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 down. Turn this down. Oh, damn, the trapper found him. You missed it. Oh, no, the trapper found him. Son of a gun. Okay. I've already switched DBD as my third most popular game. I am shocked that the anti-slug didn't go through. I don't know. So, this was a terrible update for Survivor. I mean, the only thing Survivor really got was being able to see the anti-camp meter, right? And I'm not sure how valuable that is because, like, I can count on two hands the number of times that I've been able to use the resolve meter and unhook myself in a situation where the killer didn't intend for me to do it. You know, like if they were straight up face camping me and daring me to jump off. If they inadvertently gave me anti-camp, under 10 times for the year. I'm a little shocked that the anti-slug didn't go through. Maybe the problem with the anti-slug is that after you get up once, that it made it so that you could get up a second time more quickly. Maybe that's where the abusability comes in. But I don't really see why it was 2 minutes, was it not? Was it not 2 minutes? Like 120 seconds on the ground to get up? Does that seem unreasonable to anyone? I don't know. Like, I guess maybe there was some fear struck in the hearts of killers that Sabo squads were going to take control of the game and just make it so that everyone became unhookable. They would just run around, Sabo hook, and you'd have to drop, and then they'd get up, and then they'd be able to get up quicker the next time, and this and this and this. So, I mean, I guess that's probably a fringe case, which I could say also that a 4-person slug is generally a fringe case too. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen, right? Where the killer just decides they want to put all 4 people on the ground, not because there was a scary flashlighter in the weeds or because someone dropped a hook, just because they want to be mean and bleed 4 people out. So I personally thought 120 seconds was fine. Devs don't see it that way. And, you know, like I said, we knew going into this stream that somebody wasn't going to be happy with the result, right? So, the devs, to their credit, they always get labeled with this brand that, well, they put all this work into it, so now they have to justify the amount of labor spent on it by forcing it through, even if we hate it. Like, that's a thing that I hear all the time from some of the negative naysayers in the community, that they say the devs put work into it, it has to go forward, otherwise it's, you know, deemed as a failure, and their ego is too big, that they know better and they don't listen to the community, they push things through anyway. So now we have 2 examples where that has not happened. So can we shake that label off of them now? Because they've listened to somebody through this, right? They've definitely listened to somebody. Otherwise, we would have had the last version in, or we would have had this version in. We didn't get either version in. So I don't think you can say anymore that the devs aren't listening. Now, is this the right decision for the game? I'm not sure. It's basically going to be status quo. And you have to remember that this is a company for profit. They're not only are they trying to make money, they would love to grow the game. So they had this idea on how they could grow the game by finding these pain points that people had with the game and eliminating them. And as a result of these designs that they had, they were hit back with the prospect of potentially losing people from the game, right? Now, you're never going to make everybody happy with whatever you do. So any way that it would go through, you're going to lose some people for sure, but you're hoping that there will be a net gain, that the amount of people you will lose over changes will be replaced by people who are receptive to the changes, and you'll have more players as an end result. I'm not sure that this does that. I don't know that reverting everything and just staying status quo gives you a net gain, but it certainly doesn't give you a net loss. You're probably just going to stay where you are. And the devs probably blinked on this for fear that they would kill the golden goose, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants the game to flat out die. And I think at the end, they just decided we can't risk it. And it's better to just stay where we are rather than face ultimate collapse, right? Because this is a very tricky game to balance both sides on. And if you have one side of the game collapse in population, the whole thing goes down the tubes. The wait times for games just become untenable, and people will just leave. So they're just trying to avoid disaster at this point. But so basically what happened is we got camping meters, so we can see if people are getting their resolve bar being camped. We'll know if the killer's nearby camping them, so we should know that we would stay away so that we aren't inhibiting their resolve bar from filling, or it'll give you an idea where the killer is as well, We got that, and we got an extra 5 seconds of haste and protection on an unhook. Instead of 10 seconds, you're getting 15 seconds of protection on an unhook now. And that's basically what survivors got. Killers aren't getting anything. They're not getting the bloodlust thing. That's all gone out the window. No secret bloodlust. It seems to me that all the perks got reverted, and the 2 strongest add-ons for medkits got nerfed. Most harshly, the styptic. Well, I mean, depending on how you look at it, if you're still going to be able to do the techniques with the syringe that people were showing, that you can get sprint burst multiple times by just getting rid of your exhaustion with the syringe now, I'm not sure. It sounded like that was going forward. And the styptic is just like worse than a brown add-on for a med kit, because all it does is it helps you heal more efficiently. Now, efficiency in Dead by Daylight, it doesn't make you heal faster. It makes you heal using fewer charges. So it's like you'll use your med kit to heal with this styptic, and then you'll have a few basically useless charges left over, which gets in the way of you using Built to Last or other things like that. It basically does the same thing that a brown medkit add-on would do at a higher cost. I don't really understand what they're thinking with that styptic add-on. It's just complete unusable trash in my mind. The syringe, you can do some goofy stuff with regaining your endurance, so you can use your exhaustion perks. Regain your exhaustion so you can use your exhaustion perks multiple times. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm honestly surprised that they didn't either revert those 2 medkit add-ons the way they were, since they're reverting pretty well everything else. It was like I don't know. It was like, yeah, we're gonna revert all this, but hey, those medkit changes got to go through, right? What? We're reverting everything, but make sure you push those medkit changes through. What? I don't know. Look, you know, Ellie said this to me, and I agree. Like, the killers have strong add-ons, so I think it's fair that the survivors should have strong add-ons too. I don't know. Now, I would have liked it better if they could have put some stipulations on it, like if you're in chase, your syringe isn't going to work while you're in chase, so you can't heal in chase. Something. I don't know. It's so weird. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I was actually kind of looking forward to using my Beast of Prey and my Bloodlust as a stealth doctor. My stealth doctor. That was crazy. I never got so many grabs off of gens in my life as when they had that in there. So I'm not surprised that's gone. But so I don't know. Like, you can look at it in a couple ways. Like, so this whole year of addressing the problems has gone for nothing. They did all this work and basically next to nothing went through. But hey, I'm not the one whose money is on the line, right? And nor are you. I mean, maybe yours is if you're not going to buy cosmetics and not play anymore. But like, as a corporation, I'm not the one in charge of the corporation money for these decisions. And if that's where they feel like they got to go to, make no mistake about it, like, this is protecting their money. They could say it's about player experience, but, you know, player experience also goes hand in hand with protecting the money, right? If you don't have players, you don't have as many people spending money on the game, right? So their initiative here was to try and come out with a net positive of players by getting more people in, by fixing the problems that made people leave. But, you know, the sword of Damocles is hanging over their head that if this doesn't work, the whole thing can fall apart like a house of cards. And Do you want to just, hey, keep everything pretty well the way it is and keep our player base? Or do you want to roll the dice? And, you know, if you're not a gambler, the person who's got all the money on the line, you want to gamble all that, right? So that's where we go. 2v8 queues take forever. That's the trouble. I mean, if you play both sides and you do the play while you wait, it's seamless. That's the best thing they've done for the year, arguably. Best thing they've done. Yeah, but see, you know, Xeranatox, everybody has a different definition about what's best for the game, right? Like, even so, a thing that they demonstrated today was, I've seen so many people on Twitter say, nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for this 2v8 extension. Why are you doing this? And then they pull up a stat that the survey said that 70% of people wanted extended. So, you know, we all have a different definition of what's best for the game and what's fair and balanced and yada, 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 right? Fix the tutorial. So that's one thing that they did say, is that they want to help make the new player experience better. So now, maybe that was the idea between the anti-slugging and the anti-tunneling, was to help the new player experience. Because let's face it, if you play this game and you just get slugged on the ground for 4 minutes and you bleed out, or you get tunneled out right away, that's not a good experience as a new player. Are you going to stick with it? So they're trying to shore that up. What this new initiative is, I have no idea, and how long that's going to take to implement. I mean, between maybe insulating the MMR better for the really, really new people before they get thrown to the wolves, I'm not sure. But definitely this isn't a friendly game without using auxiliary resources like YouTube videos and things to figure out how to play, what's happening. The encyclopedia of knowledge that you have to have about this game is ever growing, and it's already immense for the amount of things that you need to know on why is this happening to me? What's that? What's this killer do? What's that perk do? What's this? What's that? It's a lot, right? So I think the fear is that we're like slowly eroding the player base, because you're getting longtime players who are leaving, and then the new players, we always had like this revolving door, right, of replacement players, new players replacing older players who are leaving. And that gets more and more difficult to maintain, because when the new players come in, they're met with a burgeoning amount of information that they need to have, which grows larger with every release. And so I think it's harder to retain the new player than it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, because of that knowledge that you need to have, right? So yeah, pretty well everything is scrapped. Very little going through. I'm assuming the scratch marks are going through. Everybody seemed to love that, the colored scratch marks. If you think these changes are killer sided, then play killer. Okay, so what happened? Well, what happened? What did they change that made killer harder for you? Do you think this is the end of anti-slug and anti-tunnel? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to try and come up with something else, or what was the reason they went away from hiding the hook status? Yeah. So yeah, why do the killers need the hook status now? So many pallets, but they did say that, you know, they're addressing the pallets. So they told you that they're taking away pallets, and there's no punishment for slugging or tunneling. Camping is pretty much the same as it is, right? So has there been anything accomplished? It helps them tunnel more now. Because they don't have a styptic or a syringe to use in chase anymore now either, right? Took those away. They did not say they would revisit slugging and tunneling. The camping is like ready to go, so it better be on only certain maps, because Haddonfield and Cord maps needed better pallets. I agree that Haddonfield needed more pallets, but I was pretty well on board with the community vote, where I felt like everybody was pretty reasonable on the forums when they were saying like this map has too many pallets. Like, you know, I felt like the community was very fair, whichever side they played in their voting, about saying, yeah, this map has too many pallets, like Asylum, things like that. And yeah, we'll see. So they talked about how they were also going to increase the distance between tiles, like assets on tiles. So that's also a thing that makes it easier for killers. No, like if you can't like go to, let's say, for example, you can use the window on the shack on the chapel, and you can reach that tile that's beside it fairly easily, right? You can combo those two things. So if they're taking that stuff away, that's also benefiting killers, right? So I don't really see how this patch is against killers. I don't know how you could structure it that. I feel like if I go on Twitter right now and look at the comments on this, I'm going to see umpteen Squid Game we won celebration gifts, you know? Ah! You know? We won, right? So the one that's really curious to me is the styptic. I just don't understand that one at all. Like, it's a trash add-on. If I had any intention of playing 1v4 before the new patch comes out on Tuesday, you bet your sweet bippy that I would be using up every syringe and every styptic agent that I could from now until then. Because particularly that styptic agent is worthless. And I wish I could just cash them all in for my blood points. Because that is a absolute garbage add-on right now. It's a question then, how much is the new pallet density affecting killers? Oh, I've heard, I've heard quite a few people say that the M1 killers are really struggling with the pallets, and I don't doubt that. I've seen some crazy scenarios where you have these asylum tiles that have 2 pallets in the tile. And I'm like, what? So I really have no interest in 1v4 anymore. Yeah, I mean, like, so I view 2v8 as a very much so more casual mode. Like, I talked about this on stream yesterday, that I feel like 2v8 is casual and 1v4 is comp, loosely. Because when you play 2v8, there isn't that much need for understanding about what's going on. You don't have to know about 70,000 perks and what they do and how they're affecting you. It's pretty basic knowledge about how the game works, right? It's much more streamlined. You could more easily introduce someone to the game in 2v8, giving them the rundown of the 4 classes and what they can do, and that's it, right? You don't have to know a whole lot more than that. But the 1v4 requires so much more, Now, obviously, it's more limited in the amount of characters that you can put in the 2v8, but I think it's a good, like, get your feet wet experience for 2v8, and you're never going to convince me that 2v8 is bad for the game. My son usually only wants to play when it's 2v8, because if he plays 1v4 with me, and he's partnered with me with my MMR, which, probably isn't top by any means, but it's above where he is. So he feels like he's the low-hanging fruit, the baby antelope of the group that's easier to catch, and he gets tunneled out a lot, and it's not a good experience for him, right? But in 2v8, the way it's structured, if he gets caught, he gets hooked all the way on the other side of the map, and the killers are going to encounter more people than him along the way once he gets unhooked to go after instead of him. It's a better experience for him, right? So that's why I think 2v8 is more casual and 1v4 is more comp. And you know, people say, well, DBD needs casual and competitive modes. Well, it's right there. That's it right there. And pretty much in a nutshell, that's the difference between casual and comp, 2v8 and 1v4. And people for years have been banging this drum saying we need 2 modes, casual and comp for 1v4. And the Dead by Daylight devs have said, well, we don't want to do that because it's going to fragment the player base and it will affect queue times. And we're seeing that right now, right? Aren't we? Are we seeing that right now with these 2 modes and in this one 2v8 mode, which is limited time? And we see people complaining about queue times with this. So what do you think would happen if we had 1v4 casual and comp? And what would stop the people who play competitively from going into the casual game? Nothing, right? They could just go in there for easy dubs and stomps for people who just want to goof around in quote unquote casual mode. There'd be nothing to stop them from doing it, right? So this is, it's very clearly divided in the way the 2 game modes work. And that's why I say that it's like casual versus competitive. Would I like to see more classes added? For sure. I would like to see, you know, a memer class. Maybe 4 head-ons in a row would be a little devastating to a killer. But, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's no argument. Like, the only statistics that I have to go on are the Steam chart stats. And when 2v8 is on, we have more people playing than when it's not. Those are facts. You can look at it. Look at it for yourself. Look at the dates before and after 2v8 and see where we're at. So we definitely have an uptick in player base with that. So, I mean, I guess that's what the people want, right? So I don't know how people can say nobody asked for this extension when you have more people playing when that's on. Can't all just be about blood points, right? I don't know if 2v8 being permanent would be healthy either. I think it's in a good spot where it's at as like a seasonal thing. I'm not in favor of permanent 2v8. When they gave us the survey, I certainly didn't ask for an increase in frequency. But a lot of the a lot of the draw for 2v8 for me is blood points, right? Not as much as we've gotten in before. This time I only get 3 times instead of 4 times. So I get a lot of blood points, and I'm pretty well guaranteed that I'm going to have a decent score. I'm not going to go in a 1v4 and get like 4K points. You know, can that happen in 2v8? Sometimes, quite rarely, I will say, but I usually get a better score than I'll get in 1v4, and it'll be multiplied. So they talk about improvements to the Rift or any perk changes. Yeah, they just pretty well said that they're reverting all the perks that were changed. I mean, I guess there were other perks on that list, but I can't imagine that those are going through. I don't know. We'd have to go look at it. The new patch is coming out on Tuesday. They did not address any new content. Another delay of the January chapter? No. The November chapter is delayed until January. That's still the same, and they didn't tell us what it is. Don't you think the solution for behaviorists to invite killer mains to their office to discuss the anti-slugging? I mean, they have like well-known people in the community who are part of the, what do they call them? What do they call them? I forget. They're like not quality assurance, but they're consultants. They have consultants, right? Yeah, they have the consultants who are players who are very well versed in the game, and I can't imagine that they saw a lot of this stuff. I don't know, because there was some definite blind spots that people saw right away when it came out, and they, you know, all of you are a lot smarter than I am, and you tell me, hey, why don't you try Beast of Prey and see how that works with that bloodlust? And I'm just walking around undetectable for, what is it, 40 seconds? It was crazy. Like, what? Like, I feel like consultants would have spotted some of those blind spots immediately, or maybe even the syringe getting rid of your exhaustion and giving you another opportunity to use your exhaustion perk. That one, I guess, is going through the way it is. They said they're going to keep an eye on it, whatever that means. So how come after the second attempt it's still not coming through? Well, like I said, it all comes down to, you have all this data and you're just not sure what's real and what's rage, bait. Like, are people really going to quit? Or are they just saying they're going to quit? I don't know, right? And are you willing to risk everyone's job on it? Hoping that, the people who aren't going to be happy with the changes will blink and stay? That's a big risk, right? It's a big risk. Everybody's job is on the line. So when I see people saying, these devs are lazy or whatever it is, you don't think that every one of them doesn't realize that at some point, on some level, their job is on the line? Like, they have to make money on the game. And that requires players, right? So everybody's job is on the line. We've seen rounds of layoffs there already. So everyone's job is on the line. So to suggest that people don't have their heart in it or are lazy, it doesn't really ring true to me, because if you're at home and you have a family to feed, bills to pay, I would think that you would be wanting to do your very best to make the best product that you can, right? So I'm so happy I could cry. Anyway, life will go on. There are no players, there's no money. Life will go on. We'll see what next week brings. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So yeah. Anyway, I think more than anything, the devs showed that they have a willingness to listen to feedback from the company, and this label that they've gotten that they don't listen and their ego is so big that they think they know better all the time and they force things through even if they aren't good for the game. I think that's all a bunch of bullshit now, right? Because we can see 2 times that they wavered on their ideas in the face of the feedback from the community, and they didn't force anything down your throat, right? So yeah, so the grimoire, we're going to have voting in December, right? And they gave us a lot of ideas of how the divine killer's power could work, and we have decisions to make on that leading up to it. So this absolutely proves they listen to people yelling instead of pushing forward blindly. Make no mistake about it, there's definitely going to be an aspect here of people who will feel betrayed, right? They were promised this quality of life with these pinpoints that said that we're going to address slugging and we're going to address tunneling, and we have done none of that, right? With it, you got 5 more seconds of endurance off the hook. But essentially, you got nothing from these big pinpoints that were on these quality of life promises. And there are going to be people who will feel betrayed, and there are going to be people who will leave because of that. But I think I think the strongest point here is that the killers are the minority for the most part. There's some people I know who don't play killer at all, right? They only play survivor. And if you lose the killers, then I'm not saying the killers are more important, but if you lose the killers, you're more likely to have population collapse than if you lose some of the survivors, right? So let's say if you lost 20,000 killers, that hurts more than losing 20,000 survivors, right? Because every killer is going against 4 survivors. So I think it's more detrimental to the game, personally, if you lose the killers. I think survivors need to quit or just become killers. The health update has been a huge flop. I mean, it's encouraging to hear them say that they have double the amount of bug fixes than they did in the last patch, but also the PTB introduced some brand new bugs that we didn't even have before. So I do encourage people to play both roles. I think that makes it gives you a healthier view of the game, not only from the understanding of the frustrations that both sides can have, but also for an understanding of what everything does in the game as far as killer powers, perks, add-ons, survivor perks. I think being more well-rounded and playing both sides is a healthier view. But I understand there's some people who can't play killer because of motion sickness, or some people just have no desire to play killer, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, I get it, Tina. I mean, it's a tricky game to balance, man, because anything that you do with a perk and they don't have the foresight. My big problem was when they went back on this haste and hinder stacking. I think they really boxed themselves in when they said we're not going to let haste and hinder stack. I think that should have gone through, because now you get all these people who are looking how to min-max everything by stacking this with this, with this, with this. And so it just kind of inhibits the creation of perks, in my opinion, when you always have to think in the back of your mind, yeah, but if I give it all this power, then I have to worry about them stacking it with this and this and this, instead of just like, you make the perk on its own merits the way it was going to be, and nobody can abuse it with stacking because it doesn't stack. Nothing stacks. So that's it. You just get it the way it is. I think that was a big misstep personally, but I'm not in charge of those decisions and things, right? So anywho, I'm upset. I wanted to play some stealth killer with my beast to pray. That was going to be nutty if it went through. It really was. Oh yeah, so Bone Chill's slated to start December the 9th. On December the 1st, they're going to give us a calendar to let us know all the important dates and stuff. But here we are. So I really don't think killers have anything left to complain about, do you? What are you after next? I mean, you came out with a net positive, didn't you? You're getting rid of pallets. You're getting more spacing between tiles and resources. And you nerfed medkit add-ons. Is that a real big problem for you, that people can see the camp meter now? Healing speed is too fast. Is it with what? Resurgence? I mean, damn, you see how people come back to the hook? It's got to be fast, don't it? People coming back to the hook, they got sloppy butcher and shit. You can't even get the heal off before the ghoul makes it back to your ass. Ghoul hearing an unhook is like the dinner bell for your dog. It's like, oh boy, I got time to go back. It's dinner time. Just head around and zoom. Ghoul's back in an instant. Yeah, I'm sponsored by a competitive computer company, so I'm not going to say that out loud, Kirkland, but thanks for the info. Do. Survivors should only be allowed one perk slot. You're right. If we do that, then we're going to have the perfect game. I hadn't thought about that. Survivors all get one perk, and then the game will now be perfect. After chasing the mailman. Man, I seen ghouls in mid-chase. They hear somebody get unhooked, and they're like, dinner time. And they turn around. They're in mid-chase with somebody, and they break chase to go back. Even if the person's injured. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, Yes, but just give all the survivors no mither. Yeah, you can have one perk and it has to be no mither. Look, at the same time, you know, I only want what's best for the game. I want exactly what the devs were trying to implement to grow the game, because that's good for everybody. That's good, and I'll tell you why. If you don't think that I'm right about this, being able to grow the game gives them more money, right? And it isn't more money to put back in their pockets. It's to fund more developers, right? And if you don't think that that's true, if you think that this company is just stuffing their pockets full and isn't reinvesting, I would question you to go back and look when studios were folding. Behavior was buying studios. Behavior was buying 2 studios in England. Behavior was buying a studio in the Netherlands. Behavior was buying a studio in Seattle. So don't tell me those aren't monetary investments back into the company, right? They bought Darkest Dungeon. These are things that they're trying to do with their funds to help the corporation. It's not just all about stockholders' pockets, right? So if the game's in a better state, has more players, has more people putting money into the game because they love it, then they can hire more people. It's as simple as that. So, you know, I don't begrudge them for making attempts to improve the game with that being the goal, right? I think that's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for everybody who works there. And it's good for me because they make the game better. It's good for you because they make the game better, right? And, you know, not just with like balance changes, but with engine changes, map updates, smoother frame rate, whatever it is, getting rid of bugs. That's what they do with the money, right? Anywho, that's my thing. All right, I'm going to go play Fortnite now. You think I'm lying, but I am. I'm going to go play Fortnite now. I played 10 hours of DBD. Yesterday, and that was enough for me. So that's where we're at. It was cool that they showed us all of the cosmetic winners and gave us the roadmap for when those are going to come out. Yeah, I hear you, Javier. Like I said, you know, there's going to be some people who feel betrayed, that they hoped, okay, they're going to make my experience better, and you feel like you're not, you know, you're left with nothing. So is that the end of the road? I don't know. I really don't know if that's the end of the road. They sure didn't give us any indication that it isn't the end of the road, did they? So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be same old thing that we've always done. Does that mean you're going to play less? Not at all. And that's an individual decision that you all have to come up with, right? Maybe you're going to play less and just do your dailies or just do your Rift and peace out when events aren't on or something like that. You know, that's all decisions that you have to make. So, but I know my Rift's done. My 2v8's done. I don't have anything to do in DBD right now. I don't really have a reason to play. That's a problem for me until the Bone Shell comes out, right? So I'm definitely doing Fortnite tomorrow as well. DBD needs constant new content to stay interesting. So that's an interesting point that you say, Death Froze Up, because, you know, for years we have heard people say you need to stop making new content and fix your stuff. So now we've reached this point where they have delayed new content to fix their stuff, and we're all sitting around with our thumb up our butt going, well, what are we going to do now? There's nothing new or interesting in DBD. So now what? So this is the very thing that they feared by not having the trains run on schedule and delay the schedule of content trains from coming out, that if we don't keep putting out content, people won't play or they'll forget about us. And that's where we're at right now, right? Are you gonna play Silent Hill F? Maybe one day. DVD's gotten so bad that Paulie's a Fortnite streamer now. Look, I like Stranger Things and I like The Simpsons, and they have both of those things going on right now. If Dead by Daylight had those things, I'd be in Dead by Daylight. But right now I want to go hunt down some Homer clones and get weapons in the donut storm or whatever. Just being real. They got the new content, so that's where I'm at. DVD don't have any new content. Homer's Perks. Donuts. Treehouse of Horror DVD. Simpsons and DVD win. The Donut Storm. Haven't seen any Stranger Things gameplay. That's in Blitz mode, right? If I go in Blitz mode on Fortnite, I can do that? All right, I'm going to shut down the stream, and I'm going to open it up to just Twitch only, and we'll get Fortnite going. But I love you all. I appreciate you all. Where do we go from here? I don't know. We'll see. We'll be all right. We were so wrong about needing a health chapter. I mean, we got a health chapter that didn't really have much health in it, right? We had a delay for what? What was the delay for? What did we get? Where do we go from here? Up. Yeah. Hey, if I give y'all my address, we come pick up all my styptics, I'm gonna go put them all on the curb. Can y'all come pick up 5,000 styptics if I put them on the curb? All right. I love you all. I appreciate you all. We'll see you. We'll see you for Fortnite in, I don't know, 10 minutes or so.